So the Baltimore Ravens get some much-needed clarity at the wide receiver position as Odell Beckham Jr. officially says his goodbyes. We also got another key veteran on the offense, Kevin Zeitler, who's planning on signing a deal with the Detroit Lions. We got all that and much more, so welcome in to another episode of Ravens Reports. It's your guy Noah here with For the Flock, as always, bringing you guys our top 5 news reports and storylines coming out of our Baltimore Ravens today. In this episode, man, we're just going to go rapid fire. It's not going to be a highly edited video today. We're just going to keep you up to date on everything you need to know. So at number 1, Odell Beckham Jr. Here's the message he sent out on Instagram. Swear on everything. I appreciate the flock more than y'all could ever imagine. Did everything I could with the opportunities I had. I wish I got to do it big for y'all with the ring emoji. Ben, do we wish that we got that ring as well with Odell, man. It was right there in front of us. Thank you for the vibes to the city of Baltimore. I blank with y'all forever, for real. And most importantly, to my brothers over there, this is a lifetime sentence. I love y'all. Biggest trust. So I'll never forget the time that MVP quarterback Lamar Jackson strapped up on the same football field as Odell Beckham Jr., man. That'll be a fun thing to look back on as the Ravens continue to add some of these like prolific wide receivers towards the end of their careers, like Steve Smith, who had a great impact, like Anquan Bolden, who had a tremendous impact, and then Odell Beckham Jr. being the latest one of those guys. So that leaves a hole at the wide receiver position. Odell Beckham Jr. had over 500 yards of production, made some big-time catches on third downs, but I think a lot of those snaps will and should go to my guy, Rashad Bateman, who's loaded with talent, but needs some more opportunities, needs to get on the same page as Lamar Jackson. And then Nelson Agholor, who has really made some plays as well when given opportunities and has that nice rapport, that veteran connection with Lamar Jackson. Remember, all the talks coming out of training camp during the summer was, man, Nelson is making plays. Nelson and Lamar have a trust together. Nelson Agholor was one of the biggest red zone threats all throughout camp and was continuing to make plays for Lamar. So I'm excited that there's at least a solid trio there. You know, 3 first-round picks. It's not like there's not talent in that room. Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and Nelson Agholor, all former first-round picks. But there's still obviously some holes there that need to be filled, whether that's a first or second-round pick, whether that's another free agent. We've talked about Tyler Boyd and Josh Reynolds and other guys. That's a possibility. But nonetheless, the Ravens will have to add some more wide receivers to this room. Let me know your preferred method of choice in the comments section below. And it was fun to have Odell Beckham Jr. here while it lasted. At number 2, the other free agent that we just lost, Kevin Zeitler. Man, the writing was already on the wall because whenever that dead cap hit at the deadline and we did not get an extension done with Kevin Zeitler, it pretty much told us Kevin Zeitler's not coming back. So he looks like he's pending a physical with the Detroit Lions. Man, Detroit Lions have made some nice moves, by the way. They traded for, I think, Carlton Davis, added Amik Robertson, added DJ Reader. Now they're adding Kevin Zeitler, man. So I like what the Detroit Lions are doing in this offseason because they were right there, that close away from a Super Bowl appearance, just like the Ravens were last year, making it to the conference championship game. But speaking of Kevin Zeitler, him leaving in free agency, it solidifies this being your top priority. I listened to a video from All 22 Films. He does excellent film breakdown, Ravens content. Make sure to go check him out. But he said that 2/5 of the offensive line is returning. So that leaves only 40%. 40%, when you put it that way, it really hit me. 40% of your starting offensive line is returning. That means 60% is not. So there's not going to be much chemistry there. You got some major holes to fill in that offensive line. Left guard, and right tackle. Now, there are some guys that have played but have not been consistent starters. That includes Daniel Falele at right tackle, Patrick McCarry at right tackle. Ben Cleveland's played some right guard pretty well. Left guard, Andrew Voorhees and Saleh are going to be in the mix for that. But nonetheless, you want to add some more talent, especially at the right tackle position, in my opinion, man. You cannot have weaknesses at both tackle positions. I'm not going to say Ronnie Stanley. I'm not going to just write him off as a weakness. But from what we've seen in recent history, Look at the strip sack in the AFC Championship, right? Those type of things. You don't want to have two tackle positions, liabilities. If there's one that struggles sometimes, maybe you chip, the left guard or the right guard helps out on one of those sides, but you can't have both sides consistently struggling at those tackle positions, those book ends. So, man, do we need an offensive tackle, specifically right tackle, whether it's in free agency or early in the draft. At number 3, Tyler Huntley is officially gone as well. So he's signing a deal with the Cleveland Browns. And, man, am I thinking, what is going on with every single other division rival wanting a piece of these Baltimore Ravens? Man, I know we're good. I know we got an elite culture, elite ownership. Our DNA is great here in Baltimore. We know all that, right? But it's just crazy how bad division rivals are wanting a piece of that, man. But for real, Geno Stone to the Bengals. Then we got Tyler Huntley to the Browns. We had Patrick Queen to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So literally every single other team in the division has gotten one of our free agents. Or, even the Browns going after James Prochet whenever we let him go. It's just funny because I think that kind of does show you how much some of the other teams in the division have respect for our ability to bring in talent and our ability to develop guys. Goes a long way. At number 4, speaking of some division rivalry going on here, the Pittsburgh Steelers absolutely fleeced the Chicago Bears, getting Justin Fields for a 2025 6th-round pick and maybe a 4th-round pick based off playtime. I'm telling you right now, I was texting my buddy about this. Justin Fields is underrated, and he was underutilized in Chicago. He was a top 10 pick for a reason. He's super talented. He runs a 4.4. He's big. He's strong. He's got a nice arm. He has accuracy. It's just, here's the thing. He's had a different coach like every single year of his career. Inconsistent weapons until he got DJ Moore. And then whenever he was healthy with DJ Moore last year, he was making plays like crazy and showing those flashes. But, poor offensive line play the first few years of his career, inconsistent coaching, no weapons, and a new scheme every single year. And then you expect a rookie to come in and develop and flourish, right? It's not going to happen no matter who's back there. I do think the Pittsburgh Steelers got themselves a talented quarterback that I believe will probably overtake Russell Wilson sooner rather than later. First of all, I wouldn't be surprised if he flat out beat him out of training camp. But I definitely wouldn't be surprised if Russell Wilson gets a little banged up, sometime during the season. Justin Fields comes in to relieve Russell Wilson and then just takes the job from there on. Would not be surprised with either of those scenarios playing out because I do think Justin Fields is very talented and hasn't had strong coaching, leadership, mentorship, scheme, or weapons around him for him to be able to thrive and succeed. At number 5, former NFL All-Pro Sean Merriam says, in regards to the Ravens pursuing Stephon Diggs. Now, there's no reports that this is validated or that the Ravens have actually looked into Stephon Diggs, but a former All-Pro, Sean Merriam, says, if I'm Steve Bisciotti, I'm flying my plane right in front of Steph's crib to get Stephon Diggs here in Baltimore. I've already talked about it briefly. I wouldn't be a huge fan of it because of him getting older, but more specifically, the antics, the drama, the temper tantrums that he does throw on the field consistently. It's not just here and there. I see it all the time with Stephon Diggs. The idea, the talent would be fantastic, but I almost want the Ravens to go. If they're going to add another top-tier receiver, I'd almost rather you draft one in the first round because Stephon Diggs would probably cost a first-round pick. You might as well swing at a wide receiver in the first round and then, get younger and cheaper at that position as opposed to getting older and more expensive, if that makes any sense. We also got some insight on Derrick Henry's salary cap numbers. His 2024 cap number is $5.105 million, and his 2025 number is $10.895. So here's the full breakdown from Brian McFarland at Ravens Salary Cap on Twitter. So if you guys got any value out of today's content, man, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Your top remaining free agents that you'd like the Ravens to sign that are still out there, some of your favorite draft targets. We got lots of content coming here planned for you guys. So make sure you got that subscribe and notification bell on so we can keep you up to date on everything Baltimore Ravens, man. I love you guys, appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
When he wasn't looking, he ran me over.